Anyone can look at data and anyone can say this is what it says, but how did you analyze it? That's very critical, because a simple mistake in the analysis of data, you can misinform. But what you're doing is we are starting the discussions. When you get people talking, when you start bringing the policy makers to the table, and to say when you analyze this is what it says, this is what it implies, then you got everybody listening. Then you are closer to having relevant policies in place.
I enjoyed the course very much because research is important, and for you to do research, you have to understand the economy. That is something that I learned from the university. At my current job at Kipra, I am using what I learned from the University of Nairobi. As a young woman, I think that information and data is very important for our future, because we'll have to know the true representation of women in our country, and it will also inform and be easy even to make a decision on policies for it to make a better world. Yeah.
Our main target in the dissemination of gender data was, one, the grassroots women, because that is where population impacted most by lack of development. And we feel and believe that if we start using evidence for planning at the very devolved level, then we will get things right and we will accelerate progress on gender equality.
UNICEF is partnering with UN Women to engage the most important agencies in Kenya. So one example, the Council of Governors has picked this data and uploaded it on their website, so that is accessible to all the 47 counties. So the counties are then picking on the data to actually use it in their planning and budgeting process. So the big strategy here is transferring the data to the government institutions, for the government institutions to apply that data themselves.
I saw increased involvement of women in projects and programs at county level. But as a result of this, the production of these gender data sheets, the counties were able now to allocate pro rata in terms of the resources that are there. Not adequate, of course, but at least informed with the data that they have. And because it's not just a gender issue, it's actually an issue about planning. Gender is actually a planning tool. And so all the other departments were involved. So I saw an improvement and a departure from the haphazard planning that has been there in relation to matters to do with gender.
You know, media holds a very significant and fundamental space in dissemination of gender statistics and gender data. They misunderstand it, they give the wrong story. They understand it, they are going to give very positive stories about women and girls, men and boys. Remember, media has a huge audience and they need to understand it so that they appreciate why we need to invest in gender equality.
I think the first way to be made accessible is by disseminating it to policymakers. The real change will come when the government is able to appreciate the data that is now available, and this will help them to stop perhaps overestimating the progress we have made on gender equality and women's empowerment. So disseminating it to policymakers and also to the technocrats who are actually, drafting the planning and budgeting frameworks for the country. Because if we don't have the investment, then we are not able to demonstrate our commitment and accountability to the people who really matter.